just called for an ambulance.
No, I understand. You got to go. I know how it is. I hear you. You got to work. Thank you. Thank you, Dale. Great points. I wanted you to be able to finish your points. All right, we're going to come back with Jeff, Steve, and others straight ahead and talk about this. This is a big deal, folks. I mean, George Soros just thinks he's going to start a civil war using the police as the detonator, and we got to stop him. He spent $33 million trying to create a new civil rights movement around having citizens clash with the police. And let's be clear, we're the biggest critics of the cops in Albuquerque that shoot the unarmed homeless guy and then celebrate it. They've both been indicted, by the way. We're huge critics of federalization, globalization, of no-knock warrants being expanded to the general public, to the overall drug war. Again, I'm the guy that made 4 films about this. I'm the guy that made, wrote a book about it, about the federalization, about the training, about how they would make them political police and environmental enforcer police, and how they would turn zoning people into cops. That I'm all fighting. I'm not fighting the individual because they want to create this system, have us clash with it, to then force the police into an even more militarized position and to go under federalization so they don't get shut down or arrested or sued by the feds. So the feds send out the Soros money, have the controlled media under Obama, blame the police in general, come out and attack them, make statements, the president, mayors, you name it, put it out there, project it onto the average cop. When I've said it, I mean, I've experienced it. The average cop knows about the New World Order, knows about globalism, knows about the federalization, knows gun control is about victim disarmament, and is more awake than the general public. So they're the enemy. Local government's the enemy. The globalists don't want that. So they want to cause civil unrest to the point of civil war, just like George Soros brags he did last year on CNN. He told Fareed Zakaria, I read the quote last hour, that he was behind with his Open Society Foundation doing it. The Washington Times went to the numbers. The Open Society Foundation last year, in the Trayvon Martin case before that and now last year, $33 million to stir it up. We caught the Justice Department secretly trying to stir up riots in Florida. Does that mean Zimmerman's a great guy? Does it mean he's perfect? No. Does it mean it's tragic? Yes, it is, but it doesn't matter. The worst guy probably in the world when it comes to evil, George Soros, that we know of, the most active demon, is involved because if they can get blacks and whites fighting, if they can scapegoat the lowest level of the government, the police, it will cause total destabilization, loss of confidence, and then they can bring in their greater control. Just like the communists did in every other country, just like totalitarians have done in other nations. This is a tried and true plan. So, if George Soros wants open borders, we don't want open borders. If he wants to take our guns, we don't want to give our guns up. If he wants to restrict freedom of religion in this country, we're not for it. If he wants to overthrow Ukraine, we're not for it. He's a bad guy. He wants derivatives. He wants banker bailouts. Everything he does is bad, but marijuana legalization, which is decriminalization, which I would support, and I do support, except for he basically runs the movement and is going to use it as a political movement into the future. He wants to control it, and he wants to bring Monsanto in to genetically modify it, and then he will control the activist groups so they don't oppose it. That's the inside baseball from the highest levels of organizations like Normal that George Soros is financing. And they've now weaponized marijuana so strong, they're going to come out with strains that basically turn your kids into zombies. So there's always a dark side to any libertarian movement. I support it because I support the basic idea of individual liberty, but I will also support the right to criticize weaponized marijuana and warn people. Because you can go buy Drano and kill yourself with it. They don't have it, illegal. Same thing with marijuana being weaponized. It's got a lot of promising attributes to it, but it's got a lot of bad ones as well. We should look at full spectrum analysis. I want to go to Mark in Washington, who's an active detective. Steve in Alabama is, of course, a correctional officer. Jeff in Utah has been a police officer up until 1 year ago. And we've got a few open lines for police, specifically for police or active duty military, because you're the people that are going to be the front line if George Soros can start a civil war in this country like he did in Ukraine. And who did they firebomb and shoot in Ukraine? The police. What did his Open Foundations group run TV ads for and promote in the media they had? $5 billion worth? Showing cops brutalizing people to then overthrow the government and put an unelected government in charge. And now Ukraine is in deep economic trouble, being looted. And George Soros just said he wants $50 billion of U.S. taxpayer money to help Ukraine. He'll manage it and give it to his sons and people. That was in the news last week. That's what he does. And he'll want to manage and have a reconciliation if civil war breaks out later. Don't you worry. We can all be politically correct and do what he says, and the cops can go under globalist control and prove they're not bad. Mark in Washington, who's a current detective, do you disagree with what I've laid out here? How clear is it? What do you want to say to Soros? What's your view on this?
No, I agree with you. The key is it's got to educate the public. I mean, it's going to be tougher for the coppers in the bigger cities because you have a larger population. But for instance, in the area that I work in, it's a smaller community, smaller county. It's just one-on-one relationships with people, and they get to know you, and they see how you act. You treat them like you want to be treated. I'm not really worried about our area too much. So I think the people are smart enough to figure out when they're being bamboozled. I mean, Soros has an agenda. He's a dirtbag. He turned his own people in World War II. So, I mean, the guy's a demon, but he'll get his in the end.
He really is a demon.
He is. But as far, I talked to a buddy of mine who's a canine handler at LA County Sheriff's Office, and I talked to him a couple weeks ago, and I asked him what the sentiment was down in his area, and he's not seeing too many problems with anti-police. I mean, you're always going to have a group that doesn't like police. It's normal behavior. People don't like to be told what to do, or they don't like to be confronted when they make mistakes. But I think it's just personally. I think what hurts us is that the media keeps putting the guys that make mistakes over and over again on the.
Well, sure, and that's part of the agenda, not to reform problems, but to hype us up into a war. I'm just saying it's a bold move. Do police realize that if Soros is successful, this is going to get a lot of people killed? I mean, this is their big move, is to start this civil war, and these guys tend to succeed. I mean, I just hope folks realize we are 2 minutes to midnight here. I mean, this is getting really serious.
Well, let me put it this way. It's going to be bad. If it happens, it's going to be bad in some areas. It's going to be really bad in the urban areas.
Oh, yeah.
Rural areas where I'm at, I'm not too worried about it. I just, unless police go astray and just start, violating people's rights in every city, and it becomes an epidemic, then maybe that'll change.
Oh, I agree with you that it's going to be in urban pockets controlled by Democrats. I mean, that's where it's going to be, but it's going to get... They want to create a destabilization as an excuse for the feds to roll out troops. And the Justice Department will act like they're against it all when they're behind it, just like Fast and Furious. I'm just trying to get a major debate going within the Peace Officer Association so that they realize the larger agenda and program.
This is the key, Alex. It's one-on-one coppers talking to each other. I mean, I talk to all the guys I work with, and we are all on the same page. And we have one-on-one conversations. I got one guy I work with that's also an infantryman in the National Guard, and he's told me that all his guys, including his commander, have all made a pact that they're not going to violate Casi Parentitatis, and they're not going to be taking guns from people, and they're not going to go against the American people. And I think they may tell their higher-ups, yeah, we'll do whatever you tell us, but when the poop hits the fan, I think they're going to be on the American
Oh, they will be, at least in general. When the rubber meets the road, if the globalists are bold enough to do this, they're going to end up losing everything when they make this move. But it's going to be messy. I hope they're smart enough to back off. God bless you, sir. Be safe out there. And I want to be clear. Federalization, federal grants, the erosion of the Constitution, the courts, and the people allowing administrative law to turn us into a police state now have police in some areas carrying out tactics and activities that are tyrannical, and so it is causing legitimate concern and angst for the police. But separating that out, the system is going to use that, exacerbate it, exaggerate it, to detonate a bigger crisis. And that's the bottom line. And I'm here trying to stop the New World Order agenda. That's why I'm 100% trying to hammer this subject. Because I'm telling you, folks, you know how much I predicted. I know how the enemy operates. Plus, they tell us what they're going to do. Soros didn't spend $33 million on Ferguson stuff because he didn't think he didn't have a shot. Then they sent in Democratic operatives in New York, Chicago, Missouri, St. Louis, all over, saying, kill cops, kill cops, kill cops. And the feds were there and told the cops to stand down. Now, that tells you something right there. The system is getting bold. And if cops start getting killed and start getting paranoid, start shooting innocent people, there's some Kent State type events where the cops mow down a bunch of protesters. See, they want a V for Vendetta type event, you know, where the cop kills a little girl and then they start overthrowing the government. There's been cases like that in Romania and other places that really happened. Similar events. Catalyst. They want to create fake catalysts to get this going because they're not winning politically. We're going to come back with Jeff, Steve, Peter, and others. Stay with us.
Attention Alex Jones listeners, when you're on the road or have limited data or Wi-Fi, now you can listen to Alex Jones unfiltered and untapped at no extra charge on this non-federal phone number, 1-605-562-5136. Try it now to listen to Alex Jones 24/7 at no extra cost or data charges. These are not on federal lines. These are lines located on Indian reservations off the grid. Call 1-605-562-5136. No smartphones or internet needed. To hear Alex Jones untapped and off the grid, just call 1-605-562-5136.
You know about RVs, you've heard about bunkers, but surviving is not recreation, and man wasn't made to live underground. Introducing Survivalist Camps, the ultimate fully functional off-the-grid survival bug-out house that's mobile, well-equipped, and custom-built to outlast any other RV or trailer. Go to survivalistcamps.com to learn more. That's survivalistcamps.com, providing your basic needs to survive. Survivalistcamps.com.
The experts are clear. Sunlight, purified water, healthy non-GMO food, and having a good attitude is essential to a healthy immune system. But I go further with Super Nascent Iodine X2 from InfoWarsLife.com. 50% stronger than our original and revolutionary Nascent Iodine formula, coming from a deep earth crystal source that no other supplier has. Most other forms of iodine come from seaweed in areas plagued by Fukushima and other contaminants. Not our iodine. It comes from over 200-million-year-old crystal salt deposits and is tested and proven to be completely pure. Visit InfoWarsLife.com today. See the informational videos. Read the information there compiled. And for a limited time, when you use promo code NOW at checkout, you get an additional 5% off the entire family of InfoWarsLife.com products. Secure your Survival Shield X2 today at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139.
What good is a Big Berkey water filter?
We get that question a lot here at BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. And in a word, the answer is protection. Protection from water main breaks, E. coli contamination, environmental chemical spills, pesticide runoff, chlorine taste and smell, and all forms of fluoride. Plus, Big Berkey water filters are the original gravity water filter system and most trusted on the market for a reason. Tested by multiple independent NSF EPA certified labs, they are the gold standard in water purification. At only 1.7 cents a gallon, a single set of filters can last for 5 to 10 years. That means big savings. Big Berkey, the one that's powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get a Big Berkey today at BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. GCN listeners receive 5% off all ceramic filter systems. Visit our website or call 1-877-99-BERKEY. That's 877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
Millions of people are going to get sick this winter from colds, flus, and other illnesses. Make sure you're not one of them. Protect yourself with Supernatural Silver, a revolutionary new product. Recent advances in silver technology have resulted in a silver solution that can be used daily to help prevent bacteria, viruses, and fungus.